In this lecture, I am going to talk about the topic on-demand routing protocol. The last class we have discussed about the topic table-driven routing protocol. In table-driven routing protocol, each and every node present in a particular network maintaining the routing topology information in the form of table. So in order to update the information, those information is periodically exchanged between all the intermediate nodes. So it will consume more bandwidth in order to store the all information. It needs high memory. So in case of on-demand routing protocol, so here the path has been established whenever a node is having a data to communicate to the desired destination. During that time only the pathfinding process will start to execute and the routing information has been exchanged between the intermediate nodes to establish a desired path. So when we compare with table-driven routing protocol, so these are the advantages as well as shortcomings it has. When we talk about the advantages, because of the less route updates, the control overhead will be small, and because of there is the each and every node as in maintaining a information as in your table-driven protocol, the memory storage requirement is very low. But when we compare with table driven approach, there the information is readily available. So the path establishment is very easy. Quickly we can able to forward the data. But in case of on-demand routing protocol, so whenever it has the data during that time only it start to create a path. So it will take some delay. So under on-demand routing protocol, we will be having so many types of protocol. Among those protocol, as per our syllabus, we are going to talk about the protocol which is called as AODV protocol, which is abbreviated as Ad hoc On-Demand Distance Vector Routing Protocol. So here, in order to establish a path, the node which is having a data, it start to generate the route request packet, and the route request packet is started to flooded through the intermediate nodes up to it find the desired path. So the thing is, until it find the desired path, the route request packet will be forwarded with help of the intermediate nodes. Once it reaches the desired destination node, or else if any of the intermediate node can aware about the destination node, they will be forwarding the route request packet to the desired destination. So in that route request packet, it has the following field: source identifier, destination identifier, source sequence number, destination sequence number, broadcast identifier, time to live. These are all the field which is present in your route request packet. So let us consider the image here. Here in the particular network 15 nodes are present from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up to 15. 15 number of nodes are present. Now node 1 is having some data to transfer to node 15. So initially doesn't aware about anything to reach the destination node 15. So now it has to generate this route replay packets. There it will be mentioning all the field and start to flooding. That will be heard by the intermediate node, that is a neighborhood node 652. It will be hearing those node and it has to check whether it has the desired path to reach the destination 15. If there is no path, then again it starts to flooding the information. Now let us assume now 10 having some information about how to reach the destination, because recently it has to share it information to the destination, so it aware about that how to reach 50. So likewise node 3 is also having aware about how to reach 15. Now you will be assumed like that. Now node 1 want to generate a path, so it starts to flooding its route replay packet to this intermediate nodes or else its neighborhood node. then what will happen? These three nodes doesn't aware about the destination, how to reach the destination. So it starts to flooding that information to its own intermediate node. Now 10 will be intermediate for this file. So the now 10 will be receiving the route replay packet which is generated from the source one. Then it has to check that checking the while interpreting the data, it aware about that node 1 want to communicate to node 15. So previous, as I said, now 10 already having the information about how to reach the destination 15. It has to check with its sequence number. So now the sequence number is 10. So as I said before, tree is also having that information, but it has the sequence number as 1. When compare these two things, 10 having the sequence number as 4, so which is having the highest sequence number. So which means that that highest sequence number represent that which is currently updated information. When we compare with 4, it is currently updated information. So now node number 10 start to create a route replay packet, and it forwarded in both the direction. It will be forwarded to its intermediate or else neighborhood node, and it will be reach your desired destination. Then that is the advantage of this AODV when compared with other type of on-demand routing protocol. So here the main advantage is the intermediate node itself can able to create a route replay packet, so the delay will be greatly reduced when compared with other type of on-demand routing protocol. If the path has been broken, in order to maintaining the route, so it will be immediate instantly choose the alternate path. Here in this picture I have shown the path between 5 and 4 has been broken. So this broken can be avoided by node 5 as well as node 4. See, these two nodes start to generate the route error message and start to flooding its neighborhood node. So and finally it will be reaching your desired destination. While forwarding itself, the neighbor node can able to receive. So if it is having the alternate path, then immediately it will be optimized. So instead of 5, it will be choosing this path to reach the desired destination. So up to this, the AODV get finished, and first unit I have completed. So we'll be see in next class. In next class, I'm going to start unit 2. Thank you.